One of Bridgen's Australian counterparts is Alex Antic, the Liberal Senator for South Australia, who last week reminded the Australian government that New Zealand, under its new Conservative government, had given notice that it will be withdrawing from the World Health Organisation's diktats regarding the next pandemic. And we all know the next pandemic is just round the corner. Have a listen to what Alex Antic told the Parliament.
The people of the world are waking up to the World Health Organization. They are waking up to this unelected globalist body, an organisation seeking to accrue power at the expense of our medical and health sovereignty. During COVID, the WHO advocated for lockdowns and vaccine mandates, which of course turned out to be disastrous. Yet they have never taken responsibility for the damage brought by these policies. The WHO also failed to properly investigate the actions of the Chinese government in early 2020. They were uncritical of Big Pharma and they exaggerated the deadliness of this virus. Yet the Labor government in this country wants to afford the WHO more authority over our public health-making decisions, not less. I've spoken many times in this place about Australia's need to withdraw from the World Health Organization, and I've spoken many times about the need for Australia to vote against the World Health Organization's amendment to the international health regulations and the proposed pandemic treaty. And if passed, these instruments will pave the way for these unelected global health bureaucrats to have unreasonable control over our public health policies and will provide even less scrutiny for pharmaceutical companies. The proposed instruments will afford the WHO more authority regarding regular social listening and analysis to identify the prevalence and profiles of misinformation and disinformation and false news. Take my word for it, this proposal has authoritarian intent. Now, fortunately for the citizens of Estonia, New Zealand, Slovenia and Slovakia, their leaders have listened to their people and notified the World Health Assembly that they intend to reject the pandemic treaty and the amendments to the international health regulation. And I'm calling on the Labor government to take seriously the concerns of those Australian citizens who are rightly sceptical of the WHO. The WHO's job during the pandemic was to provide unchecked, sensible health advice. It failed, and we ought to reconsider our relationship with this entity rather than unquestionably yielding authority to it.
Well, that was Senator Alex Antic, one of the few members of the Liberal Party, let alone federal parliament, trying to shed light on the truth about government incompetence. Well, now, if you are like me and despair about the state of Western civilization and are seeking some sort of reminder or reassurance that things aren't quite so bad, then have a look at the new 6-part series simply called The West, produced by a British think tank called the New Culture Forum. It is as good as Kenneth Clark's famous 13-part series from 1969 called Civilization, but it has a more urgent message. It deserves to be watched by millions of people. It's had reasonable results on YouTube so far, but I highly, highly recommend watching it. You can find it at Western Civilization, that's civilization with a Z, .co.uk. That's westerncivilization.co.uk. I was lucky enough to talk to its director, writer and presenter, Mark Sidwell, yesterday.